President of Iran, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, spoke on Monday at Columbia University at a time when a flurry of speculation is flying about a possible military confrontation between the U.S. and Iran. Ahmadinejad came to New York to answer questions and explain Iran's position on its development of enriched uranium. Major news network coverage of the speech focused on the introduction by Colombia's President Lee Bollinger, who attacked Ahmadinejad for Iran's human rights record and for what he called its pursuit of nuclear weapons.
A litany of charges, including supporting terrorism, arming Iraqi militias, human rights abuses, developing nuclear weapons, and denying the Holocaust.
To its credit, CNN did show most of Ahmadinejad's speech live, perhaps the first time most Americans have had a chance to hear him speak at all. Joining me now from Sao Paulo, Brazil, to analyze the speech and the event is Pepe Escobar, a real news correspondent and columnist for Asia Times Online. Pepe, the introduction by Bollinger seemed quite astonishing, to dress down a president. I don't think if President Putin had been there, he would have been treated like this, even though many people might make quite serious human rights accusations against Putin. What did you make of this event?
I think it was absolutely shameful that such a prestigious university as Columbia would treat a head of state like this. He should have listened to Ahmadinejad first and then posed his own questions and the questions of the audience.
To start with, why does Ahmadinejad keep this horse going on the question of was there a Holocaust, wasn't there a Holocaust? Even in today's questioning, he was quite ambiguous about it. What is in this for him to keep this thing going?
His key point has always been, why should the Palestinian people pay the price for something that happened in Europe and was provoked by Europeans 50 years ago?
But why does he dilute that point with questioning whether there's a Holocaust at all? Like he was asked in the questions after his speech today, that when you have such a body of evidence about something, to raise the question for more study the way they've raised it suggests that they're questioning whether the event actually took place. I don't understand why he keeps doing that when his second point, why should Palestinians be displaced, is quite a good point. I mean, I've never actually heard a good answer to that question. But why keep raising this ambiguity about the Holocaust itself?
I agree with you. I think it's a formulation problem. I think the way he thinks it and formulates it in Farsi doesn't translate into a Western, let's say, Cartesian discourse. I think it's basically a mistranslation problem. Just like what he said in October 2005, and everybody in the whole world, especially Associated Press, keeps saying, Ahmadinejad wants to wipe off Israel off the map. It's not what he said. What he said in Farsi is that the regime, the Zionist regime as we know it, should not remain. It was, once again, a defense of the Palestinians.
But he started to question what he called suppression of scientific inquiry in Europe by people who question the Holocaust being put in jail. But these are neo-Nazis. The people who have been jailed in Europe, they haven't really actually been jailed for questioning the Holocaust. Perhaps in Germany it's an offense to deny the Holocaust. But people who have been jailed are jailed for organizing neo-Nazi activities. I mean, he can't be so unaware.
My main point is that with the National Press Club in Washington and at Columbia, Ahmadinejad won. He won by 3 slam dunks in a row because he only said what he wanted to say in his own terms. He was not questioned in substance by anybody on internal repression, on Iran's foreign policy, on what were Iran's plans for Iraq and Afghanistan, on what are Iran's plans with Russia. Nobody questioned Ahmadinejad about that. Nobody questioned why his Minister of Interior basically is imprisoning and detaining independent journalists. It's one of the most important independent journalists in Iran at the moment, Ahmadinejad Baghi, a friend of Akbar Ganji, who was released last year. He's in jail because he was defending the rights of political prisoners and common prisoners in Iran as well. And he was branded as an American infiltrator just because he knows journalists in the West. So nobody questioned about internal repression, about his economic record, which is absolutely appalling. And that's why most people in Iran are against the Ahmadinejad government, because he hasn't delivered economically.